Sinjuri nerġa' nsellmilkom għal Culture News illum sa nagħtu ħarsa lejn l-arti ta' Isabel Warrington.
This current exhibition is called Revelations. The reason why it's called Revelations is because it is the result of a year of intensive journaling that I did. So there's a lot of introspection in the pieces. A lot of them came from many sketches that I used to process my own thoughts and my feelings and what I think about circumstances, etc., etc.
Min xahar xahar Isabel tvarja l-arti tagħha tkompli tevolvi u tevolvi totalment. Isabel mhix tevolvi fis-sens li telqet minn xi ħaġa għal xi ħaġa aktar. Isabel titlaq differenti. Fil-li nkunu għaddejjin pereżempju feline arts, ftit xhur ilu, darba għandna wirja surreali għall-aħħar hawnhekk. Nixtieq kważi nkun f'moħħ Isabella u nara x'qed jiġri li huwa differenti u probabbli aħjar lil ukoll.
I wanted to free myself from the constraints of realism. It allows me to express things in a much freer way, and sometimes I myself am extremely surprised with the result. Most of the time I don't really know where they're going. Some pieces I'm not too happy with at the beginning, and then I start to work on them and then add more layers to them. And in a way, they sort of reflect that same process of introspection. Introducing buttons and different bits and pieces into the painting comes from, I think, very much the influence of the theatre, because I've spent most of my adult life involved in the theatre. So that gives me a lot of inspiration, and it's reflected in my work very often. In fact, even the colours I tend to use very opulent colours in my paintings. I love opulence as well. I'm very attracted to colour and shiny things, I suppose. And I started to use buttons, I think because there's also a bit of nostalgia attached to the buttons. When I was a child, my mother used to sew my clothes, and one of the highlights of having a new outfit at the time was choosing the buttons and the braids and all these things. So there's a very strong connection there. The collage of buttons creates a very different visual. It creates a very different dynamic. Then I like to introduce things like gold leaf, to bring out even more opulence in the paintings. And again, it's a development of an idea. Basically, I don't just use buttons. I also am very aware of how much we waste as human beings. So I like to take it down that route in sort of rethinking the way we utilize items.
X'kienet ir-reazzjoni tal-pubbliku meta qed jiġu jarawhom?
Jekk tiġi hawnhekk fil-gallery tagħna u tidħol mill-ewwel tinduna li hawn xi ħaġa differenti, mhix exhibition bħall-oħrajn, fis-sens li s-surrealiżmu ħajolqtok, ħatara li hemm xi ħaġa totalment differenti, L-arti kif qed ngħidlek ta' Isabel hija illum totalment differenti, probabbli xahar id-dieħel naraw Isabel għal xi ħaġa totalment differenti milli qed naraw issa.
Very often people tell me, where do you get all these buttons and bits and pieces from? And I get them because people, when they're clearing out, let's say, their parents' houses, when they've passed away, they'll have a whole load of boxes of bits and pieces that they don't know what to do with. I particularly love haberdashery because I sew as well and I design costumes. So for me, it's like a big treasure trove. So then I love to incorporate them in my paintings, in the things that I create. And it is an avenue I'd really like to explore much further in the future. What I really would like to explore a lot further is creating more art using recyclables. I love doing that. I love looking at something and thinking, well, this could be something different. That is something that's, at the moment in my life, I feel compelled to do it. So I think that is probably my next exploration.
Sinjuri, wasanna għatmim tal-programm illum. Passoltu nirringrazzjakom li qed tissegwu. Nerġa' nkun magħkom il-ġimgħa d-dieħla fl-istess ħin. Jiena Lea Hogg għal Net TV u nixtieqilkom il-lejl it-tajjeb.